This nerd is having the fun of his lifetime but has no idea at what cost. Today, I will explain an American romance film called Oh, Ramona. Hang tight as some spicy actions are ahead. The protagonist of the movie is Andre, a 16-year-old high school boy. He's currently at a party, staring at a popular girl named Ramona, whom he's had a crush on since forever. Seeing he's too nervous to talk to Ramona, his best friend Silviu gives him a joint to smoke and then encourages him to be more confident. Once the joint takes effect, Andre finally musters the courage to approach his crush. He does a bizarre, eccentric dance, and Ramona actually finds it amusing. The two start to get along, but Andre suddenly feels an urgent need to pee. He thus excuses himself and heads to the toilet, only to find that someone has left a massive dump behind. Andre tries to flush it down, but realizes that the flush is also not working. To make matters worse, Ramona appears outside the toilet, saying she urgently needs to use it. A panicked Andre manages to stop her, but another boy enters the bathroom first. He is disgusted by the mess and immediately invites the others to come and see. Everyone assumes Andre did it and starts laughing at him. As a result, the poor guy becomes embarrassed and bolts out of the party to avoid further humiliation. Days later, we see him at another party, once again sitting on a couch, staring at Ramona. Aline urges him to approach her, saying nobody remembers the toilet incident anymore. With nothing to lose, Andre gets up and hits the dance floor. Ramona seems impressed by his moves and tells her friends that she's never slept with a virgin. After dancing with Andre for a while, she whispers to him that she needs to show him something. The two then head to the bedroom and begin making out passionately. Andre is overjoyed, as he's had a crush on her for years and will finally get to sleep with her. He also expresses his feelings for her, but this only catches Ramona off guard. She makes it clear that she's not looking for anything serious, and this is just a one-night stand. This disappoints our poor boy, and he says he would rather not sleep with her if it ruins any chance of dating her in the future. Ramona doesn't seem to care, and tries to seduce him again. But when Andre continues to reject her advances, she gets frustrated and storms off. The next morning, Andre shares with his friends what happened with Ramona. He explains how deeply he is in love with her and wants to date her for real. However, his friends just make fun of him, and Aline even scolds him for missing the opportunity of a lifetime. The only one who supports him is Silviu, who says Andre did the right thing and should stick to his principles. However, after some time, Andre finds out that Silviu and Ramona are now dating, which leaves him shocked. They also begin making out in front of him, making him look like a fool. Days later, Andre finally has enough and confronts Silviu in class. He tells him that Ramona is only dating Silviu to make him jealous, not because she genuinely likes him. Andre suggests that Silviu should end his relationship with her for the sake of their friendship. The statement shocks Silviu, and he asks Ramona if it's true, but she denies it and expresses how much she loves him. She also claims that Andre still sends her messages at midnight, asking her to date him. Andre desperately insists that she's lying, but an enraged Silviu ends up punching his friend. Later, at home, Andre is icing his bruises when his mother asks what happened. He then shares about his crush on Ramona and how his best friend is currently dating her. Upon hearing this, Mom feels bad for him and says he shouldn't take these people too seriously. She then suggests that they go on a beach vacation together to get his mind off of this girl. In the next scene, Andre arrives at the beach and decides to check into a hotel. Upon entering the lobby, he notices a young blonde receptionist and is captivated by her beauty. Andre then strikes up a conversation with her and introduces himself. He starts telling her absurd jokes and manages to make her laugh, after which she introduces herself as Ramona. When Andre asks her out on a date, she says she can walk with him on the beach after her shift is over. Late that night, we see Andre and Ramona hanging out on the beach, having a great time. She reveals that she is in college and works at the hotel to support her studies. Ramona goes on to tell him that she has a boyfriend back home and doesn't want to give Andre false hope. Hearing this, Andre feels disappointed, but decides to enjoy the night anyway. He tells her they can still be good friends and begins singing a romantic song for her. As a result, Ramona is impressed by his gesture and unexpectedly kisses him. One thing leads to another, and they return to the hotel room, where they eventually make love. Around midnight, Andre gets an unexpected call from Ramona. He's surprised by this, but decides not to give her attention. The next morning, Andre is woken up by his mother, and he realizes that Ramona is nowhere to be seen. He is excited by last night's events and decides to introduce the girl to his mom. After searching the entire hotel, he eventually finds Ramona, who appears to be in distress. She then reveals that she was fired for violating hotel policies and sleeping with a guest. Ramona says she is going home now, and her boyfriend will be here soon to pick her up. Hearing this, Andre asks if they can exchange socials and be in touch, but the girl refuses, as they live far away, and there is no way they could work. The two then emotionally hug each other one last time and say their goodbyes. On the way back home, Andre continues to think about Ramona and their sweet memories. However, his mood suddenly changes when he receives a text from Ramona. She asks him to visit her as soon as possible, saying that Silviu hit her and she is distraught. Upon reading the message, Andre asks his mom to drop him off at Ramona's house. When he arrives, he notices Ramona in a distressed state with bruises all over her face. She scolds him for ignoring her calls, but Andre responds that they're not close, and he is not obligated to entertain her. He also reveals that he has a girlfriend now, which surprises Ramona. She asks for the girl's full name or phone number, but Andre doesn't know any of that. Ramona thinks he's lying and claims that she knows he's still crazy about her. She accuses him of following her around like a puppy for years and claims that he will never be able to get over someone pretty like her. Upon hearing this, Andre gets mad and clarifies that he just came to check on her out of pity. He also argues that there are lots of other girls who are more beautiful than her. The two start arguing, and Ramona threatens to file a police report, claiming that Andre hit her. However, Andre doesn't care and tells her to do as she wishes before storming off. The next morning, when Andre arrives at school, he finds out that Ramona has shared fake rumors about how he punched her. This ruins his reputation even more, and soon everyone turns against him. When he arrives in class, his classmates are too angry with him, and they start throwing things at him in rage. Later at home, Andre's mother notices his gloomy mood and inquires what's bothering him. He then tells her that Ramona made up lies about him simply because he ignored her. He says he is confused about his feelings, and his mother advises him to not give up on Ramona, claiming she's a better fit for him. Hearing this, Andre agrees and starts looking for information about the hotel where he stayed. He calls them, claiming that he found Ramona's wallet somewhere, and he needs to return it. After getting her number, he calls her and claims that he will be in her hometown for a few days, and asks if they can meet. Ramona excitedly agrees, and even invites him to stay at her apartment, rather than a hotel. Following this, Andre doesn't waste any time and goes to visit Ramona. When he arrives, the two head to a party at a nearby club. They then soon succumb to their desires and become passionately intimate in the bathroom. However, their moment is interrupted by a bouncer who demands to know what is happening. Andre honestly explains what they were doing, so the enraged guard brutally punches him in the face. Later, at Ramona's apartment, they take a shower together, and Andre suddenly asks if she has told her boyfriend about them. This catches Ramona off guard, and she reveals that she has no intention of leaving her boyfriend. She justifies that she likes Andre very much, but her boyfriend is older, rich, and has a plan for their future. Andre tries to convince her to date him, but the girl refuses and asks him to leave. Heartbroken, Andre leaves her place in just a towel and reflects on what has happened while sitting on the street. The next day, he returns to school and finds out that Ramona has spread more lies about him. She has been telling everyone that Andre refused to sleep with her that night because he is into men. As a result, many girls approach Andre and congratulate him for being so brave and finally coming out. To make matters worse, Aline is also dragged into the situation, and people start assuming that the two of them are actually a couple. Andre tries to explain that it is all a lie, but no one believes him since he and Aline are always hanging out and seem so close. Days later, Andre is visited by Aline, who wishes to end their friendship. He explains how the rumors have made his life miserable, and how all the girls in town believe he is gay. Having had enough, Andre finally vows to glow up and get back with Ramona. He begins working out every day, and also switches from glasses to contact lenses. Following that, he gets a cool new haircut and starts shopping for fashionable clothes. Once his transformation is complete, Andre posts a picture on social media, and everyone is shocked by how attractive he looks. The next day, Andre walks into a cafe where Ramona is sitting, and instantly, all the girls there start staring at him. Ramona also approaches him, and her attitude is completely different now. She compliments him, and Andre also tells her that she is still the most beautiful girl in the world to him. The two then kiss, and Andre invites her to his house afterward, which Ramona gladly accepts. After that, Andre decides to get revenge on Silviu, and uses an oversized girl named Clara. He leaves a flower and a note on her bench on behalf of Silviu, asking her to be his girlfriend. Upon seeing the note, Clara is overjoyed and immediately agrees to Silviu's supposed proposal in front of the whole class. This confuses Silviu, and he denies sending the note or flowers. He is offended that she believed he would propose to such a fat girl, which upsets Clara. She then admits in front of everyone that she and Silviu lost their virginity to each other last year. Clara begins angrily hitting him, and soon, other classmates join in. Seeing all this, Ramona feels mortified and ends her relationship with Silviu. That evening, Andre takes Ramona to the top of a bell tower with a breathtaking view for their date. She then apologizes for hurting him in the past and spreading rumors about him. Andre also forgives her, and they have a deep conversation about life and love. He then suggests going back to her place, but Ramona hesitates and says he's just like other guys. However, Andre reassures her that he isn't like those douchebags, and she knows that very well. The two then head to her house, where they begin passionately making out. However, just as they are about to make love, Andre abruptly stops and claims that he is not like the other guys and that nothing will happen tonight. This enrages Ramona, and she ends up biting his hand hard. The next morning, when Andre wakes up, Ramona approaches him and apologizes for last night. She then confesses that no one has ever shown so much interest in her like him. She requests another chance to fix her mistakes, which Andre agrees to. In the following days, the two begin officially dating and are constantly together. Things are going well between them until one day, when Andre receives an unexpected text from Ramona. The girl reveals that she is in his town and asks him to pick her up at the bus station. This leaves Andre stunned, and he tells Ramona that he needs to leave urgently. He truthfully confesses that he has another girlfriend, but Ramona thinks he is joking and doesn't believe him. She thinks he just needs to use the restroom like at the party and lets him go. Afterward, Andre meets Ramona, and the two excitedly kiss each other. He then takes her to his home, where he introduces her to his mother. Later, Andre speaks with his mom privately and reveals how confused he feels between the two girls. His mom advises him to make up his mind soon if he doesn't want to hurt anyone. She also points out that if he truly loved Ramona, he wouldn't have noticed another girl. Hearing this, Andre realizes that it is Ramona he really loves and decides to be with her. He then returns to the bedroom, where he and Ramona spend a romantic evening together. Later, around midnight, Andre gets a text from Ramona, who claims that she is outside his house. The boy immediately heads outside, and it turns out she was worried since he didn't respond to her texts or calls for 6 hours. Ramona begins to seduce him in the middle of the road, but Andre becomes uncomfortable and asks her to leave. When she continues to insist, he finally reveals that he has someone else in his life. He confesses that he is not in love with her and that they should break up. This devastates Ramona, and she tries to kiss him, but Andre heads inside and shuts the door on her. The scene then cuts to a few years later, when Andre is now a famous novelist who has moved to Bucharest with Ramona. One evening, he goes to a club with his friend, but he unexpectedly comes across Ramona. After a brief chat, she begins flirting with him and confesses that she has never forgotten him. Andre feels uncomfortable and decides to leave, as he is a committed person now. But Ramona reassures him that she was just kidding and is actually engaged to a rich guy. She then offers Andre a ride home, and although he's initially hesitant, he eventually agrees after some persuasion. On the way, Ramona continues to brag about her life, but Andre is busy texting Ramona. Seeing this, Ramona goes crazy, speeds up, and risks crashing into other cars on the street. Andre asks her to calm down, and after Ramona finally pulls over, she begins to cry. She then admits that she is unhappy with her fiancé and that money, trips, and gifts will never fill the void left by genuine feelings. She admits that she often wonders what might have happened if she and Andre were together. Hearing this, Andre feels bad and tries to comfort her, but Ramona suddenly begins seducing him. She tries to give him head, and while Andre is hesitant at first, he eventually succumbs to his desire. The next morning, Andre returns home feeling guilty about what happened. He searches for Ramona, but she is nowhere to be seen. Shortly after, he finds a message on his laptop from her, stating that she has decided to leave him. Andre then receives a message from Ramona in which she smugly states that she is finally satisfied, having successfully ruined his life. Reading this, he realizes Ramona deliberately orchestrated everything to exact her revenge. He then breaks down in tears, overcome by regret and heartbreak. Moments later, Andre hears a voice telling him he can't let his story end badly. Shocked, he asks who it is, and the voice reveals it's his future self. He suddenly finds himself in a lake, and his future self informs him that he can take him anywhere he wants. Andre then seizes the opportunity and requests to return to the party where he first rejected Ramona. Moments later, he is back at the party, where Silviu is advising him on how to approach his crush. But Andre only becomes enraged at Silviu and punches him hard in the face. As the movie concludes, future Andre remarks that he could have just gone back to last night to prevent getting head from Ramona.